Here we go.
Yes, sir. What's
Bruh.
going down?
Huh? Team No Sleep. What is it?
Yeah,
What's
man.
today? Thursday, June 10th. Where you been, brother?
Man. Team No Sleep. I've been sleeping,
You
man.
been
I'm
you
sorry about being a little tardy to the party. Man, enjoying, be honest with you, brother, just enjoying some family. We have family coming to town. My
Yeah.
son's graduating this weekend. So he graduates tomorrow. He walks across the stage.
Hey.
I'm so proud of him, man. He got awarded to be on the honor society.
Nice.
So he's doing it academically as well as athletically, man. And we just celebrating his time to graduate. Plus, my younger daughters are getting promoted, so we got
Okay.
a big festivity going on in the Allen household. So
I ain't
pardon me
mad
for
at
being
that.
late,
No, you
everybody.
know what? That's most important. That's all good. That's your pass for this week. Yeah,
Yeah, that's my pass, man. I won't be late no more. I'm sorry about that, everybody.
I'm out here sending texts and tweets. I'm telling people to join. Who knows who's gonna try to jump into the studio because I put the link out there. But that's all right, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations to you and your son. That's a whole different feeling. Man, we were talking behind stage a little bit. The oldest is leaving the nest.
yeah, yeah,
I know
yeah.
I know you taught him right. I know you put him on the right foundation. Now he's gonna go play football where?
He's going to Southwest Minnesota State. So
Okay.
he's going to be going to moving to Marshall, Minnesota.
Mm,
Coming at the end of or mid right after July 4th of July, he's going to be moving out there, working out with the team, getting ready for the season, and then also continuing to study at Summer Bridge. So
yeah.
he's really being passionate about his academics, which I'm more impressed with than anything.
Yeah.
Uh, he's been able to dual. So his senior year, not only did he go to high school and finish his senior year, he was also taking college
Okay.
classes at the local JC to transfer over during the
Love it.
COVID situation to take advantage of being at home and not having to be at school. So
Love it.
he has over 3.3 at the JC level, and he has over 3.3 in high school. So
He's
I
all
can't
set.
argue. I can't argue. Yeah, man, I can't argue with my man. So he's doing
Look,
his thing.
look. I got the pleasure to meet him and some of his partners for that class project that we were working
Yes,
on, and you got a good man there. So we tell him that I wish him well in all his endeavors, and definitely let us know when he gets out there on the field, so we could be cheering on young Allen.
absolutely, man. I appreciate that. I gotta give a shout out to my oldest son.
Mm,
Lehigh got a promotion. He's the D line coach now there,
I
man. So
heard
he's doing
that.
this thing there. So we definitely a sports impacted family.
Yeah.
You talking to the right one. We talking to the right one. So we good, man. So definitely just feeling blessed all the way around.
That's good, but I see it in your face too. You just grinning.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
go let's go ahead and get into
Going,
this in
man.
this sports then, brother. Let's go and get into this sport. I would say a lot is going on, but that wouldn't be true.
Yep,
because
that's
we
true.
because we already talked about and it's never old story. It's a good story. That needs to be talked about. We talked about the mental health aspect. We talk about the Naomi Osaka and how that's continuing to evolve, not just in tennis, but again, more and more people are talking about it, not just athletes and entertainers. So that's definitely want to keep that front of mind as well. Um,
Absolutely.
but really, the bigger things that are going on right now are just what's happening on with the NBA playoffs. I mean, right? That
Yeah.
that's the story, right? It seems to be a transition week, right? Not as much is going on. We're not even going. We're not even going to entertain talking about Floyd and Paul and what they're doing. So we're not even going to talk about that.
Well,
I'm
but
I'm gonna bring it
there's one.
up.
No. There's one aspect I want to talk about that, and this is the part I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So, I forgot her name. It slips my the gymnast. What's her name? The black gymnast has just won.
Oh, Simone Biles, who just won? It's
Simone Biles. Yeah,
Simone
sorry, it's
Biles.
Simone Biles. Simone Biles. Simone Biles just won.
Everything.
Put one of the greatest performances in gymnastics ever. And Sports Center didn't run her story at all. And they ran that damn Floyd Mayweather debacle that they were showing, and that kind of upset me because this young lady has made a lot of achievements. She's sacrificed a lot. She's at the top of her craft,
Hmm.
and yet we're gonna entertain Floyd Mayweather fighting. Granted, the guy was a bigger guy, but I mean, he's fighting a damn YouTuber,
He's fighting the
and
YouTube guy.
it's not even it's not sports, man. That's strictly entertainment. If we're talking about entertainment, that was just for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
That's like somebody going to fight a kangaroo or fight a bear. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, people that look at that as a circus and go do the entertainment. Now, Floyd, granted, you got your money, but I'm saying, why wasn't the shine on Simone Biles, man? I mean, she did something incredible, winning And I'm really disappointed in Sports Center and all the other media sports outlets that didn't give her a shine. So I want us, Team No Sleep, to give her flowers. Congratulations, Simone,
Yeah.
doing your thing.
You're right. And what's happened to you, Brother Cox? We see you, man. You know who I did see reporting on it was more the news outlets, not the sports outlets, right? So
Yeah.
Fox Sports didn't say nothing. CBS, ESPN, near the bottom of the page wasn't
Yes.
really a big thing. Wasn't as I'm gonna say sexy, and like Kevin's pretty much saying, it was the money thing for
Yep.
for Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul. That was just more of an entertainment play, so that's going to get more eyes on the screen, get more
Mm-hmm.
eyes talking about it, that kind of thing. Simone Biles, we know she just wins. All she wakes up winning, right? She's
Exactly.
got the rhinestone goat on her leotard, so she wakes up and knows she's gonna take it. But still, give her due because no one has done what she has done. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone will do what
Yeah.
she
I
has
mean,
done.
we should be celebrating her accomplishments. Not only as a gymnast,
Hmm.
not only as a winner, as a young African lady that's doing her thing and she's on the top of her game.
Yeah,
I believe, and like I said, I don't. If you want to run the other story, don't take nothing away from her, but give her shine as well.
yeah,
She's doing some big things. She's done some big things, and she won. I mean, she won. I don't know if it was a world championship or what but she won her in her categories,
hmm,
and it was zero tweets from Sports
nothing.
Center, basically zero coverage on anything for her on her accomplishment. Which that's a bigger deal than Floyd because she's actually in
Yeah,
competition in sports. This dude is just he's fighting the monkeys, man. He just fight, he's fighting anybody. As long as they paying him, plus $1 million, he'll go in there and fight anybody, whether it's good or bad. And I think it's kind of sad. I think it's sad because, like we talked about it before, this tarnishes his sport. His sport is already as tarnished as it is. That just tarnished it even more because
yeah,
now it's a circus.
yeah. I was looking to see if ESPN or anyone had a
It became a circus.
story. There was one back on the 6th, but again, it doesn't do justice in terms of the accomplishment that she
Yeah,
did. So again, that should have been at the front. That should have been on Sports Center. That should Scott Van Pelt or
yeah,
what's his name? Yeah, he should have been talking about it a little bit more.
yeah.
He probably did.
All
Might
of them.
might
Yeah,
might have missed it, but I think they should have had some give her flowers while she's on top because
yep,
she's gonna be on top for a long time.
absolutely,
So good shout out
absolutely.
and for bringing that up. Let's talk. Let's continue talking about women doing some things and doing big
Yeah.
things. Uh, Clarissa Shields. I don't know if you know the name. Clarissa Shields, Olympic boxer,
Mm-hmm.
winner.
Uh-huh.
When every time she gets in the
Uh-huh.
ring, she's knocking fools out. And I had a chance to check her out a few years ago during the Olympics. She's talking about moving over to MMA now. So she's actually doing
Mm.
her MMA debut tonight. And I wanted to ask you the question: What do you think? So again, I'm gonna talk about a real fighter who
Yeah,
is
yeah,
moving
yes.
to something that is outside of their particular scope. What are your thoughts on someone who again has established themselves at the Olympic level, has got gold medals in the amateur and the professional boxing circles, similar to Floyd, right? And won.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's saying, I'm gonna take my talents to a whole nother field. You think about it. A lot of these boxers already have dual skill sets, right? Martial
Mm-hmm.
arts and things of that nature. So they know how to box, they know how to fight, but they also have martial arts in their DNA and their training. Talk to
Mm-hmm.
me a little bit what you think about Clarissa Shields doing some of
I,
these
I
different
think
things.
for Carissa Shields, I talk about it from the business aspect. Awesome move.
Mm,
The way boxing is going right now, there's no money in it. It's not there. It's just not there no more. The Ronda Rousey and all that stuff, it goes further in MMA, and you can make money and you can do things in sponsorships in MMA because they're promoting their fighters and promoting their products so much better and doing a lot of things. Now, the one thing I think for her, as far as from an athletic standpoint, she has to get used to the wrestling
yeah,
aspect of it, which is
yeah.
hard. The grappling and the grabbing, and I'm sure she's training herself to get better at that. But we already know for boxers that's a hard transition.
Hmm.
Boxers are taught to stand up, stand firm. Legs are not as strong as wrestlers are, so they're taught to throw punches from the back and do all
Yeah.
those things. Um, if she can make sure she keeps whoever's coming at her away from her from grabbing her and keep them at arm's length, she'll be fine. Blocking kicks and blocking things, she's able to do all that stuff. But I believe she has the advantage with her punching power and throwing when
Hmm.
it comes to hand-to-hand combat. She obviously is going to have a big advantage over who she's playing. But she's got to really be leery of the wrestling and the grappling and someone grabbing her and putting her on the ground and fighting that way. But I think that's going to be a more common transition than we know. Boxers going to MMA, because MMA is now, even if they don't pay their fighters a lot of money, their product and they're promoting their athletes so much that it's going to start growing and getting that kind of money, because boxing, again, with antics like Floyd, are tarnishing it. I mean, no one wants to see boxing. It's starting to become, just like I said, a circus show, a sideshow, where MMA is really saying, we're promoting our sport. This is a validated sport that we're doing, that's mixed martial arts along with boxing and everything in the octagon.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. They've just done a great job. They're doing a good job, and I wish her the best of luck in it. I think it'll be a little, as she gets to the upper echelons of competition, I think it's going to get a little bit harder.
Yeah,
I think in her debut she should do fine.
Yeah, right now, so literally just at 6:00 our time, she started against Brittany Elkin in Atlantic City. So we will see probably before we get off the air. If she got knocked out, if she got put in a chokehold or whatever, but my money's on Claressa, boy, because I think she's gonna be fun, I have seen her put some folks down, so I'm interested in seeing that. So thanks for that insight. All right, let's go back to the NBA playoffs. I'm over here watching. Yes, sir. I'm watching these Nets and these Bucks. And
the Bucks is in trouble, man.
I was gonna say tonight is literally the first night of this series that looks like anything between those two, because man, you got KD just dropping bombs like it's going out of style.
The Bucks are in trouble, and I mean, let's keep it 100%.
Go ahead. Let's go and let's get focused. Let's get focused. Yeah.
Harden is not even playing. He's not even playing.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie has not even been to the free throw line this whole series. He hasn't been to the free throw line once. So you mean to tell me Harden's not playing, Kyrie hasn't been to the free throw line, and the Bucks are having hell right now at home against the Nets?
They are, bro. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think Middleton and Holiday, they're great. They're good players. Not great. They're good players. Giannis is a great player, but he's one-dimensional. He goes to the hole, which is his strength, obviously. Mm-hmm. But when he doesn't have a consistent jumper, he doesn't have a consistent jump shot that can get him in that mid-range. That's where KD is exposing him. Mm-hmm. KD has all those attributes. He can go to the hole. He can pull the mid-range jumper, and if he wants to, he can step back behind the three and pop it as well. So they have no answer for him. Even Giannis has no answer for him as one of the best defenders. He was Defensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. He has no answer to stopping this man. And the fact of the matter, I think the differences between both teams is that when Durant gets going, all the New Jersey teams gets up. They start balling. Everybody starts. Blake Griffin, everybody else starts balling. When Giannis is doing his thing, the Bucks, their game doesn't elevate. They just sit there and watch and kind of just let him do his thing. So I see it going in 5. I see the Nets going in 5, and they're waiting on an opponent between Atlanta and Philly.
Yeah, so let's take a look at, if you're not keeping tabs on it. So it's the Nets and the Bucks. It's the Clippers and the Jazz. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought the Jazz would have been the number 1 seed? And they doing some things. Who would
have thought that? The Jazz. The Jazz thought
it. Well, yeah, that's true. 76ers in Atlanta. Trae Young is a bad man. That little dude he's a bad man. Phoenix and Denver.
Yep.
Would have thought we'd just be talking about Phoenix too. The Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz are the ones that are continuing to move on. No one's talking about Boston. No one's talking about Los Angeles Lakers. No one's talking about right. Yeah, that's right. We didn't celebrate because the Lakers lost that night after you put that bad mojo on them.
I sprinkled that losing dust on them, so it's all good. I think so. Let's go. So we already talked about the Nets in Milwaukee. Let's stay on the East Coast. Let's talk about Philly and Atlanta.
Yeah.
Great. I think it's a pretty good matchup. I do believe if Philly can't stop Embiid, it's going to be a hard road for them because they got to hit a lot of jumpers. They got. I mean, when they're hitting them jumpers and running the jumpers, they're hard to beat. Any team is hard to beat when they're shooting that well. Mm-hmm. But those games when you're not, Embiid, that second game, man, he just took over and there was no answer for this dude. I mean, they just couldn't stop the big man. and then you add Tobias on there. Ben Simmons chips in his part of his game coming in there, and then Philly's bench is a little bit better than people think they are. Now, Atlanta, on the other hand, if Trae Young gets hot, and then I forgot the guy's name that came from Sacramento that went over there. He starts with a B, Bogdanovic or whatever like that. When their backcourt starts raining those shots and opens up the game, then Atlanta's really, really deadly. And Josh Johnson, they just balling. But I just think Philly's going to be a little bit too much on him. Plus, Doc Rivers, I don't care what anybody says, he's a mastermind. He has the coaching edge over the Atlanta's coach, I believe. So I think he's going to be able to maneuver some things and create some things where I think they'll get Atlanta in 6. I think Atlanta will win another game, but I think Philly will get him in 6. Yeah, but there you go. But I still don't know how to pronounce it, Kevin. But that's his name. Yeah.
Kev, we about to make you a moderator, brother. We about to get. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit offline, but I'm gonna make you a moderator.
Yeah. Bogdanovic, whatever his name is. Yeah. But I like Philly in 6. Let's go to the West Coast, and then we'll talk about Philly and Denver. Shout out to Djokovic for winning the MVP. I can't believe it was that far. Him and Steph. I can't believe the votes was that far. But
you called it. You called it.
No, actually, no. That was Tallboy.
Was that Tallboy? Okay.
Tallboy called. He said they want international games. So.
Okay, that's right.
So I give him a shout out. Tallboy called it. He said he was going MVP. I said I support it because I know he was balling, but I didn't think the margin would be 91-5. Steph only got 5 votes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Steph got robbed. That's true. Yeah, he did. You're right. It should have been that. It wasn't that far.
It wasn't that far. But I mean, now we're seeing what Phoenix is doing to them. Phoenix is running them up and down the court. I think Jamal Murray is hurting since they don't have Jamal Murray, who's their court leader. They got hurt earlier in the year. It's really hurting Denver now, and the fact that Djokovic is the only scorer, consistent scorer. Portis is supposed to step up. Yeah. Aaron Gordon was supposed to step up. Those guys aren't stepping up. And the way Chris Paul and Booker are just running that game, they are just doing it. I mean, Booker is on fire. Chris Paul has one turnover and something like 26 assists. Ridiculous.
I was going to say, don't call it a comeback, but, Chris Paul, CP, he's never been gone, right? He's always had the skill and always led the point and always been able to drive in and just be real flexible with his movements. So CP3, everywhere he's gone, he's been a huge contributor.
This is the thing. What's crazy to me when I'm thinking about it. CP3 now. If you take a real look, he's the most seasoned, most polished player in the Western Conference playoffs, maybe for exception of Kawhi Leonard.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Right now, I had to think about that. Yeah, I had to think about that.
He's the one. I mean, remember he's went through all these trying to get rid of these humps, trying to get to the Western Conference Championship when he was with Houston. The days when he was with the Clippers, he led them there and they always lost. Right now, the 4 teams that are left, Chris Paul is the most seasoned and polished player in the playoffs, maybe next to Kawhi. I would even think I would put Kawhi ahead of him because Kawhi has won 2 championships. But Chris Paul is that next guy in line. And the way he's got that team playing, he's ready to get over that hump, and it's showing the way he's playing against Denver. He's playing his butt off, and he's making those young guys step up to the plate.
Yeah.
It's going now. So I think once they move on, whatever happens between the Clippers and Utah, I'm giving the edge to Phoenix because I think at that point he's really going to be the most seasoned. If Utah's there, he's the most seasoned player, big time.
Yeah,
and he get those guys to play defense. If he goes against the Clippers, like I said, Kawhi may have that little edge and that gaming, more gaming experience and all that stuff.
Because you can never read Kawhi, right? I mean, you don't know what he's thinking.
That dude, I don't know what he's on his mind when he plays.
Yeah, he definitely don't sleep, and he is he's on a whole nother level. And don't even mess with the claw, boy.
That dude is crazy. He on something different. But I see. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm predicting right now. I think Phoenix beats Denver. The way they look right now, man, I think they get them in 5. Man, and I'll say a sweep, but I'm gonna give Denver the benefit they're gonna win 1.
Yeah, because I like Luka.
Yeah.
Right. So no, hold on. Luka was
Luka's out. Luka's out.
That's right. Dang it, I'm tripping over here. Yeah.
You mean Joker?
Joker, yeah, I like Joker, and I think he's going to have a couple of decent showings against a tough squad. So, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I think it's going to be they're going to get at least 1 or 2. But I was going to ask your prediction moving into the finals, and I think we're right in the line because I'm actually saying Phoenix and Brooklyn for the
Yeah,
finals,
yeah, yep.
right?
I see Phoenix and Brooklyn.
And I'll go ahead because I know you messed with me last time. I forgot what was it the Super Bowl or whatever? Y'all thought I was flip flopping, but Brooklyn is built to win. There is nothing that look there everything that Brooklyn has right now in their arsenal. They are built. They were put together to go ahead and bring it home this year. They
Yeah,
were
yeah.
they were. So I
They're
mean,
not built. I'll tell you this way: they weren't built for regular season playing 72, 82 games.
exactly,
They were
exactly.
built for
They were
playoff
built for right now.
basketball.
Yeah.
Like when we play. Now, this is the thing. This is the caveat that I see with Brooklyn. I think they're gonna get beat up and have a hard time against Philly. Now, Philly's gonna give them a hard time, especially with Embiid. If
With Embiid,
Embiid's
yeah.
in there,
Long
they're
as he
gonna have a
don't, long
hard
as he
time.
stays healthy, doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. So I think there'll be a little beat up going in there, but I think, and I'm predicting the Clippers to beat Utah, even though they're
Wow.
down 1-0. I think they'll beat them.
Okay.
I like you always tell me, you like the story. I like the story of Chris Paul. I like the story of Chris Paul playing against the Clippers and getting his revenge.
Mm-hmm.
So
that would be sweet. That would be sweet.
I think
he'll go stomp on the logo like what's his name did?
Kawhi, like Kawhi did.
No, Kyrie. Kyrie did. Yeah,
Kyrie did. Yeah. So I hope that's the storyline.
Yeah.
I think they play the Clippers. I think Chris Paul get his revenge and finally get the championship. But unfortunately, I don't think Chris Paul is going to win it if he goes up against the Nets. I just think by that time, I think Harden's going to be healthy, which is to give them another weapon. And as much defense as you want to play, their offense is that much better on the New Jersey Nets. Their offense is just
that's true. I mean, it's just, you try to root for the story. You try to root for the underdog and the old school. You want it to be 7 game season, but man, it just when you stack up the numbers and the old ESPN show numbers don't lie. Yeah. Man, you just look at it. It's going to be tough for there to be a Cinderella team.
Yeah. And I like I said, I think Chris Paul's going to give them everything he got, and I think Devin Booker's going to give him everything he's got. But I mean, remember, get to that championship, man. Experience counts a lot because you got to figure out how situations are going to be. How the situation is going to be, how things are going to go. That's why I look at all the West Coast teams that are left. Really, there's not a lot of experience there. I mean, it's the Phoenix is pretty good with Chris Paul, and then it's the Clippers. Now, Utah, they've been together a lot, but none of those teams are built to match the Nets for 7 games.
Yes.
It's cool. You can play in 1 game and get them and maybe beat them. You might even beat them 2 games, but a 7-game series, when some offensive juggernaut start figuring it out, there is no answer.
That's true.
Now, this is all pending no injuries happen, and I think definitely if Harden gets healthy, which he's supposed to be healthy back for the next series, hopefully. Yeah. Definitely he'll be healthy for the championship because it's his hamstring.
He gonna come back regardless.
Yeah. Think about.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say something funny.
Think about this. What if Harden is like, okay, I'm limited to minutes and I come off the bench? Can you imagine having a dude that can score 50, 60 points that's going to come off the bench and go against your second unit?
My goodness. That would be terrible.
Dude. Yeah.
That wouldn't even be fair, brother. So I was going to make it a little funny, and I'm still going to make the funny. I worry about KD, man. KD need to eat some old hamburgers or something. He just looks a little frail sometimes.
Well, let's talk about he need to brush his hair.
he need to go ahead. Yeah, you need to go ahead, just cut it all off and just go straight and stop having it.
Brush it, cut it, do something. But he need to do something with that hair and the facial hair too, man. He can't be just having that.
He do come out looking all toe up. Come on, KD, you representing.
Dude, and they got barbers at the game. They cut your hair right before the game. Come on,
he got a barber on his staff, not just on the net staff, on his staff, right? And stop worrying about social media and Twitter and all that, and get your appearance right, man.
Yeah, get your game right, man. Get your game right, bro.
Get your personal game right. Cool. But I do. I worry about him just from that perspective because he just looks so frail. I just don't see how he's built for the game.
I'm gonna give you some information.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you'll believe this because I didn't believe when I first read it. Kevin Durant weighs the same amount as Giannis.
No, I don't believe that.
Look it up. Look on ESPN. Their weight. They weigh the same amount, I believe.
You know, what I'm saying? I'm gonna be doubting Thomas up in here. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's weight. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and bring this on screen here. So KD weighs 240. All right. Man, I don't know how to spell it. EIA. Oh yeah. Okay. So 240.
Yeah, it's coming up. It ain't too many.
Oh my goodness, he weighed 240.
Told you so. You think he looks frail, but he's not as frail as you think he is.
Wow.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm hipping you the game, bro, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's so like Kevin Cox said, that's a hot ticket right there. That's definitely a hot one right there because I did not. I mean, Giannis knows his way around the gym, right? He knows his way around.
Like he's swole,
and see, that's probably the thing right there, right? I don't believe maybe KD's just not taking care of his body the way that he should, right? So if LeBron's only at 250 compared to them, AD 254. Okay, yeah, we can see it in their physiques and things of that.
Yeah,
and I know it's genetics and all of that, but you can just tell that KD is just. I don't know, not built for the long haul and lifting, and I worry about that.
I think he's not a weightlifter. I don't think he lifts weights, but his basketball. Yeah, you're right. He's 4 inches taller. Something. Yeah, he's like almost 7 foot. You're absolutely right, Cops. But I believe Kevin Durant's body is made for the old school basketball players used to be. Nice, slim guy. He's not a banger. He's not a guy that's gonna get underneath and bang and be this phenomenal physical physique guy. He's a guy that's going to do what he do, shoot your damn lights out, drive to the hole on you and dunk on you a couple of times.
And he don't miss. Dribble the ball. Yeah, he don't miss. I'm sitting over here watching. Milwaukee got a little lead right now, 74-70 right now.
That's nothing right there,
Yeah, man, goodness. My goodness.
And the crazy part about that, I don't even think Kyrie's gotten hot, right? Kyrie ain't even really doing too much tonight.
Kyrie not even in the game right now, so no.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
We'll see. We will see. I'm glad we went
Milwaukee's
on that
in trouble, dog.
Yeah, Milwaukee is in trouble. They're not gonna do it. It's gonna be done quickly. Was it Brooklyn leads the series? What is that? Oh, 2, of course. 2-0.
2-0. Yeah. They gonna be. It's going in 5, man. 5 is the least. 5 is gonna be the most it's gonna go.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yes, I don't see any sweeps happening, but I think it'll be 5. So, football, your sport. Let's talk a little bit about it. Lot of things that are happening, but they weren't completely newsworthy, except Julio, right?
Yep.
Julio Jones said, "I don't want to be here anymore." Went online and told a lot of folks that he didn't want to be in Atlanta anymore. Now he's in Tennessee.
It got leaked. Remember, that's a leak. It got leaked.
I'm trying to be his PR rep. It just got out there. He's with Tennessee now. Okay, so that's a nice weapon to have out there because Julio Jones is a strong man. He can get out there and do a lot of damage for his opponents. What are your thoughts on something like that on Julio going from Atlanta to them as opposed to some of the other teams?
Yeah. Julio's going to give them another weapon with Derrick Henry. Obviously, Derrick Henry, and I think it's going to actually for Derrick Henry, it's going to make him in a lot better situation because now they can't load the box. Somebody has to cover the receivers. Julio's going to demand double team, so that safeties can't roll down anymore. He's got to go cover Julio on pass play. So offensively, I think it's a great move for them. I personally think Atlanta, man, sold him so cheap, only the second round and I think the 6th round. I thought they could have got a lot. They could have got a lot more for him. And I thought Julio was going to choose a different team to go to. I thought he was going to go to who he thought was for sure going to be in contention for a Super Bowl. I think with Julio there, I think that gives the Titans a better chance of getting to the Super Bowl. But as long as you with Kansas City, as long as Kansas City in that division, man, that's going to be a hard task to follow.
You got to go through Mahomes. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, then you got Baltimore coming up. I think Pittsburgh is not going anywhere. Even though I know that's your team, they're not going anywhere. I think there's a lot of teams that I thought would have benefited him more. I thought he was. I personally, I thought he was going to end up in Seattle. I thought he was going to go to Seattle. Him and Metcalf and Lockett would be.
Yeah,
that would have been nice. That would have been a nice pick. or I thought he was going to go to somewhere that was, like I said, more of a contender. But I think now that helps them out. Buffalo is also another contender in the AFC, which I just think, man, that there's a lot of competition in the AFC that he's got to be able to do.
Yeah.
And let's be honest with you, he gets hurt a lot. He does. He gets those nagging injuries. He sits out. Now, maybe the change of scenery might change that. He might beast up. You know how people, they just don't like the scenery, so they don't want to play. So those little injuries, maybe that goes away while he's there. But also, they don't have a perennial quarterback in Tennessee. You know, I thought he was going to go somewhere where I need a dude, and he didn't choose that. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
Again, Tennessee was 12. What they were? I think 11-5 without him last year, or 12-6 without, 12-4 without him. They're gonna win 30. I mean, he's gonna win you two or three more games. So
oh yeah.
They'll be fine. I just think we're not. I think they're past the point where we do good in the regular season. It's how we're gonna do and look in the playoffs. So hopefully he can give them that edge. But again, I don't think they can beat Kansas City. No matter what they got, they can't beat Kansas City right now.
No. It's gonna be fun to watch for sure. But you know, again, when you got Henry out there, stiff arming folks, and just making people look like cartoons out there. But this is nice. We thought he could have gone somewhere. I thought he was gonna go to. I honestly thought he was gonna go to Vegas. To be honest with you, I thought he was going for some reason. I thought he was going to go play for the Raiders, but I don't know.
I thought it will. No matter of fact, before we go, I want to talk about them. I got a little soapbox on the Raiders, but I thought he was going to go to the Raiders. But I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think he would probably want to play for Gruden, and I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want to play for Gruden. I just think that organization in Las Vegas is just right now is a debacle. You got to think about what they've done. So, and I'm going to get on my soapbox.
Go ahead.
Gruden has done nothing but tore the Raiders apart. And I thought when they hired him for that $100 million for 10 years, I thought it was way too much. I thought the game has passed him by. But let's just talk about the moves he's made. Keeping Carr, which I think Carr's a great player, but he didn't surround Carr with the great weapons or a great offensive line, so now Carr's skills have been diminished. You trade away one of the baddest defensive players in the league to Chicago for literally for nothing. You sign Antonio Brown, and then you waive Antonio Brown because he's disgruntled because he sees that this is not a great program, and you consistently losing and can't win in LA. And the things you've gotten out of it, you got a $100 million bid deal, and you got a brand new stadium in Las Vegas, and you cannot even produce a winner that's there. I think the only great move they did is signing Corey Littleton, the middle linebacker, who's an all-star, all-pro for their team. But everything else, they have done nothing. I can't believe you traded what's my man that went to Chicago? God dog it. Help me out. The defensive end, outside linebacker.
Let me think about that.
Was it Khalil?
You're not talking about Mack, are you?
Yes, no. Khalil Mack. Yes, Khalil Mack. Sorry. My brain thing. But Khalil Mack is arguably the best defensive player. Has been the best defensive player for the last 5 years. He led Chicago to the playoffs last year on his back as a defensive player.
Okay.
The only player one of the only players in NFL history to be all pro in the same season as a defensive and outside linebacker, and you give him to Chicago for nothing. You got nothing in return. Nothing to even show for it. Las Vegas is in trouble. They're going to be in trouble again, and I doubt if they win 4 games next year. That's how I feel about the Raiders. I really believe they made the worst decision in signing Gruden.
Wow.
He should have stuck to quarterback.
You got some issues.
I
right
said
now.
it.
You got.
I said I'm gonna be my Shannon Sharp. Yes, I said it.
Yes, you said. I tell you what we gonna do right now. So remember, I put the call out there for folks because while you was out there doing your thing, I said anybody want to come online and have a conversation, and I got somebody in the back of the house right now who also is a sports fiend, also runs a sports show. And I'm supposed to be on this show, I think, in a couple of weeks. I better make sure I get right. Hold on, wait a minute, brother. Let's go and welcome a man here, brother Walter Strong. How you living, man?
I'm doing great, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh man, hear you loud and clear, brother. Loud and clear.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so honored. I'm sitting here watching the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee game, and I'm like, this is not a real good game when you're up.
You're not feeling good about that game? What's wrong, brother? You're not feeling good about the game?
you were up 21 points in the first quarter, and then you let Brooklyn come back and hit you in the mouth,
Yeah,
and now you're
I'm looking
barely
at it right
hanging
now.
on by like
Yeah.
2 points. So I was like, I got to find me something to do. Fourth quarter, Durant and Irving will probably pull it out. So let me find something else to do.
Appreciate you for jumping on, brother. First of all, and first and foremost, let's go ahead and get into something. Let's tell the folks who you are and what it is that you do. I alluded to your show, but tell them what you got going on, Walter.
I appreciate it. So my name is Walter Strong. I'm a YouTube content creator, online coach, and purpose coach. I have a YouTube channel with a show called Walter Strong, The Huddle with Walter Strong, the third every Saturday mornings, East Coast time at 11 a.m. And then Saturday nights on Facebook, we talk sports talk, from everything from NBA to NFL to MLB to XYZ. We just talk some good sports, barbershop talk. So just glad to be a part of the show. And yes, I am really looking forward to you, James, being on the Huddle in a couple of weeks. Congratulations on your milestone that you got. I believe it was like over 700 subscribers, I believe.
Appreciate you, brother. We always grinding, right? We always trying to do the thing. So yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I'm glad to be on. I was hearing the gentleman talking about Gruden and the Raiders. You know, Raiders is living in the time capsule. Them hiring Gruden. I don't know what the Raiders. I don't know what the Raiders was thinking about.
Yeah,
I really don't. I don't know what they were thinking about. But
I truly believe Gruden. I think the game has passed him by as far as from the X's and O's standpoint, from a coaching standpoint. He's still trying to throw that deep ball and thinking that's the way to go of the Al Davis's days back in there. But I just believe strategically, from a personnel standpoint, they have not. They just failed. They've ultimately just failed all the way around. Except for me, the signing of Corey Littleton. That's the only guy I've seen that they've been able to bring in that's been able to make some type of impact.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has just been average at best, with their team. And I just believe that what he's done, not building the offensive line, with that Khalil Mack and those draft picks he got, he's drafted horribly, in the last couple of years. I think they brought in the safety who got hurt, so I won't hold that against him. But now you're bringing another safety this year. I just don't know what direction they're trying to go into to try to be successful in the AFC West, which arguably is the second weakest division in football. In my opinion. I would say the NFC East is the worst, right? We know that's the worst.
Yes. Okay.
And next would be the AFC West, except the exception for Kansas City is the only one. Chargers are coming up. Don't get me wrong. San Diego's balling.
Okay.
Woke up and coming, but they haven't jumped over that hump yet.
Go ahead. We already know. Go ahead and debate him, brother. This is what we do it, man. This is what we let it out.
I see some validity to what you're saying, but at the same time, the Chargers are starting to turn the corner.
Yeah,
they are making some moves, and so when you exclude the Raiders and the Broncos, it leaves you with the Chargers. So I can see what you're saying, because when it comes playoff time, you're only looking at Kansas City in the playoffs, and the other three are staying at home. So I see the validity in what you're saying, but I believe going into this next NFL season, I believe the Chargers will probably end up breaking through.
You think they'll be one of the top 6 teams in the AFC?
Yeah, I see them being a wild card for sure. A wild card.
All right, give me your 6 teams. Give me your 6 teams. Wow, I want to hear your 6 teams.
On the spot, brother. On the spot.
All right. So Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, where my towel at? Where my towel? God, dog. I burned one of them, so we won't go into that though. Yeah.
So Buffalo, Pittsburgh. I'm picking Baltimore. Unfortunately, Baltimore is going to win the division. I see Pittsburgh being a wild card. That quarterback. You may be able to get one more year out of Roethlisberger, but after that, you gotta hand the baton over. You have to. And you see, you spotlighting me now. I'm sorry, Steelers fans. Break it to you. I'm coming all the way from Long Island, New York, to break it down to you.
Yeah.
And address that quarterback. And I think you guys will be back in the running for the AFC North. But that's Baltimore's. You have Buffalo, the AFC East. You have Tennessee with a great pickup with Jones. So that's them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I see the Chargers.
So it's the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Who-
Those are your last two. Chargers and the Chiefs will be your last two.
Yes. That,
So
that,
you're
that
dismissing
would
the
be.
Colts. Wait, you're dismissing the Colts.
Colts.
I don't see the Colts beating Tennessee though.
Well, but I mean, you don't see them as a wild card.
I don't see them having a record better than the Chargers.
We gonna play fantasy with you
no,
this
I don't.
season. Yeah, we gonna
Really?
play fantasy
Really?
with you. Yeah,
I don't. Even with the pickup what the Colts did with their quarterback pickup, I don't.
And
see
you don't
it.
see you don't see the Dolphins either with that defense.
I see the Dolphins coming up. I do, but I don't see the Dolphins being better than the Chargers. I think the Chargers are up and coming.
I would see them having a better record because of where they're playing. Because obviously the Jets are going to be horrible. New England's not going to be anything, and they give Buffalo fits, especially when they come down to Miami.
Yep.
They can't be Buffalo, but they give them Buffalo Miami. And that defense, we know what arguably the number 1, number 2 defense last year, statistically, especially against the run. So I see their defense carrying them again for a long while. As long as Tua can go ahead and develop a little bit and make sure he doesn't have to win games, but as long as he manages the games, I see the Dolphins going 10-6. I don't necessarily see the Chargers going 10-6 or 10. Well, now it's going to be 10-7. Or I see them Miami going at least 11-6, or is that 11? Yeah, 11-6. And I believe
they're going to 17 games this season, right?
Yeah. Because it's going 17 games. It throws me all off. But I see them having a harder time. And the reason why I love Herbert, I love Keenan Allen. I think they're doing things. But until that running game can stay stable and quit getting hurt every year, where they lose both of them every year and they can't figure nothing out, they don't have a running game to sustain it, I believe the Chargers are going to have a hard time sustaining leads. Especially, we know they're going to lose 2 to Kansas City. And every year they split with the Raiders every year, regardless how bad the Raiders are. It doesn't even matter. They split.
Get
So
Raiders fans all hyped up.
And plus let's the Chargers are going into their coaching transition, which I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, and that it's going to. I just think they got a lot of unanswered questions, more so than other teams like the Colts and the Dolphins. Kind of got those things already solved. They just ready to start the season, ready to rock and roll and go. So that's where my difference is. I believe the Chargers, but the trajectory is going upward. They definitely got something special going on there, and they have the ability to go win 11 games and have the ability to lose 11 games. That's the way I said it. Okay. And plus, the other team you forgot about is Cleveland. I can't believe you left Cleveland off your thing, not making the playoffs.
I'm not convinced on
man,
that. I think
come on. How you going?
I am not convinced.
I'm chiming in too.
I am
come
not
on,
convinced
man.
in Cleveland. I am not.
Last year was a nice year, but come on.
Man, they got the best running tandem in the NFL.
Do you remember Rex Ryan and the Jets?
Yes,
and they went to the NFC East. Okay, and then didn't they go back 2 years in a row? And after that, they never saw the NFC East ever again.
Okay, but this is 1 year for Cleveland. So let's get them at least 2 years in a row.
So you want one more year?
You a good man. You definitely you got a kind heart, brother.
Wait. Okay. Wait. You telling me they don't have the best running tandem in the NFL right now?
I'm not going to doubt that.
But I just
we'll see.
I won't doubt either. But I just see. You've been watching too much. In all respect to the late great Chadwick Boseman, you've been watching too much Draft Day. That's what you've been doing. You've been watching way too much Draft Day. That may be before your time, youngster. That may be way before your time.
I feel you.
You know,
I feel you, man. I feel you.
You still stuck on Disney with Remember the Titans.
No, I respect you. Watch, I respect you.
Brother Strong coming in with the dropping bombs on you, boy.
No, I like to help the conversation, especially when it comes to the football. I believe that like I said, I think the Chargers definitely on the upper swing. I just think a couple of the teams got it figured out right now, and where they're going and where they're going to win. I don't like the 17-game season because it throws me all off about who's going to win and what.
Yeah.
In that last game, they said it's going to mean something. So I don't know. I think it's more susceptible for injury, more so than figuring out who's going to win and whatnot. I just believe the 6 teams that are going to make it. I think there are 6 teams that have already been there, and I believe coaching is going to have a lot to do with, especially working around injuries. And me, San Diego Chargers or LA Chargers, so formerly San Diego, I believe they got to figure out the injury bug before they do anything. They just can't stay healthy.
Agreed. I agree with that too.
That's on that one.
Okay. Listen to y'all. Let me keep the football conversation going, and now I'm gonna ask our social impact. So brother Strong, Team No Sleep. You know, not only the sports scores, not only the impact from that perspective, you know, but we like to get into social impact and have some more critical thinking conversations.
Okay.
I want to ask you guys about your thoughts on the athlete's influence in society. Right. So the whole more than an athlete conversation, the whole aspect of business ventures, political views, and your thoughts of how influential athletes are when it comes to primarily talking to our youth. Right. So when LeBron talks about something that's outside of the sport, a lot of folks listen. And especially a lot of youngsters who are trying to emulate, trying to be like the new Mike, right? And those kind of things. When Kyrie was talking some things that he was talking about, a lot of folks was listening to him because, you know, Kyrie has his perspective. When he was talking about the world being flat, nobody was listening to him because we didn't know what he was doing. But I'll leave that right there too. So here's my question to you guys, and I'll start with you, Walter, since you're the guest, brother. You know, your thoughts again on athletes from the perspective of their influence on society, and like when it comes to their business ventures outside the game, their political views. Do you think it's do you resonate with the more than an athlete statement, right? I mean, just you know, the shut up and dribble. I hate that, right? So, but that's kind of where I'm going, right? I want to kind of understand what your thoughts are when we say stuff like that, and making sure that do these athletes have a duty to be faces and voices of social issues as they pop up?
I don't believe they have a duty to communicate it. I believe they have a responsibility just to carry it out and live it. Because basketball, let's just stick with basketball for a few minutes, it gives you the platform to do these things. Unlike the NFL, because it's more of the shield, it's the brand for the NFL is the shield. So you don't see your Aaron Rodgers, your Tom Brady's, your Russell Wilsons, your Lamar Jacksons, even your Patrick Mahomes. You don't see them using that from an individual brand or platform standpoint. Now, that's not to say they don't have that, but they don't. It's the media doesn't present it that way to us, particularly as people of color. But within basketball, I don't believe it's something you have to communicate and say you have to do. It's just something you have to just go out and live. And I believe LeBron James has been a great example of not just saying, but just demonstrating and living his brand and his platform. Another one individual who comes to mind would probably be Chris Paul. He has been able to use his platform where it now has allowed him to be more mainstream through commercials and possibly because if you see, when does he have the most biggest impact from a brand or platform standpoint? More as you get towards the end of the season and the playoffs. State Farm has really built a relationship with him.
And they've done a good job with that. Yeah, they really have done a good job with that, yeah.
And they bridge the gap with a generation to say, we realize you guys may not remember the commercials with the twins of Cliff and Chris.
Yeah.
But let's bridge the gap and introduce you to Cliff. Right. And so he's did a great job in collaboration with State Farm to build his platform to become more mainstream. So I believe an athlete should just live it, not communicate, because when you start communicating it, communication, unfortunately, can be misinterpreted, misunderstood. And unfortunately, I believe that's what we saw with Kyrie Irving. There are just some individuals, not just athletes, even us as individuals, now that we are in this social media arena of being able to be online and social media, we need to be particularly as black men, better at communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you communicate in the wrong way, it can end up hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's in short, they just need to live it, not communicate it.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting
that's
point.
all.
I like that. Appreciate that. So what about you, brother?
Yeah, I disagree a little bit. I believe they need to live it, and I do believe they need to communicate it a little bit more, especially African Americans. I think we need to carefully communicate, not just communicate, but carefully communicate. I believe it's great when I see the WNBA and the women wearing the slogans about supporting Black Lives Matter and something like that. I think that's very important to show that empowerment and showing that message there in solidarity, and that it's very important for everybody to get on board and do things like that. I also believe LeBron is, like, I think, the ambassador right now of being that guy that can talk it and walk it. And I think he's the great example off the court. Matter of fact, I think he's one of the greatest guys he seems to be doing the great things off the court just as he's doing on the court. I agree with you, right. I think football is different because of ownership is different. They don't want that there. We saw with Colin Kaepernick. They don't want it, and they know they made an epic fail with the situation with Colin Kaepernick. They should have embraced that situation, asked Colin why he was doing it, what was the reason behind it, and we all don't agree with police brutality. I know one of those. I know not one owner says, "Yeah, I agree with beating up on people for no reason." I know they don't, but they didn't take the time to get to know the situation or understand what he was doing. They just chastised him and ostracized him as a player, and eventually got him out of the league. And they took an epic fail for that. They took a big hit based on that, as we figured out what was going on before. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay for athletes to carefully communicate messages that are out there. You can't just say anything random, because if you say anything random, like you said, they come back and bite you on the tail. But if they carefully communicate things and carefully communicate causes and carefully communicate awareness about things that are going on, just like Naomi Osaka, carefully communicate. There's a problem with mental illness. I'm going through it. I think that platform opens up so many doors to our youth and so influential to say, hey, I can relate to that. I can simulate that. How can I get help, or how can I be a part of that situation to help a greater cause to make our people uplift? So I think it's a little bit of a responsibility when you're an athlete, especially a famous athlete, that if you really feel passionate about something, that you just carefully communicate it out there and say, hey, I support this and do good. The guy that does it the best, who carefully communicates, is Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady just takes jabs on those Twitter things, and he says little things, but it resonates a long way.
That's true.
And he just says little jabs and little things. Not only does he live it, but he just communicates it. I support Black Lives Matter. Boom. That's all he had to say. Boom. It goes viral. Everybody's talking Tom Brady supports it. So I believe just being careful about what you say on social media is more important than what you say, as far as when you're in that limelight. But I do believe they should have a voice, and they should be able to express their voice out there, because I just think it resonates with so many people and gets people involved, gets people aware, and get people to want to participate in whatever the cause may be.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man. I put the call out there, and I got all these winners that want to come and join this stream, because they know we talking about some good stuff, right? But let me go ahead and get focused here and bring this gentleman on as well, because I want to hear his perspective, and he was just talking about some things that really matter and resonate. I want him to talk a little bit about that as well. But let me get my. Y'all got me back here working in preview mode. Shouts out to Ecamm Live. Y'all got your boy doing some things behind the scene that you can't even see. So
okay,
there we go. Let me. I'm gonna reshuffle. I'm gonna move folks around. But oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, JP High Tech is in the building.
Uh-oh.
Talk to somebody, guys. Dog. Talk to somebody. How you
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh man, let me get Charles out. Let me get Charles out your head, though. You know that's not a good look. Let me get you where it is. Appreciate you for jumping on, brother. Yeah, I put the call. See, Montel. See what happened when you show up late. When you show up on CP time.
Yeah, man. Man, you gonna hold that against me, man?
Too much collard greens and cornbread.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
right?
man.
I know, right?
I lost a little bit of track of time, man, dealing with the fam, man. I'm sorry, but I'm honored that you guys are on to be able to share your opinions and everything like that, and be able to give us some more insight. I believe healthy conversation is always the best because we can always figure out. That's what you can do. That's where you can get resolution from healthy conversation.
Look at that. See, you got the dogs barking too. You know you intro. You know you wrong.
Hey,
you got your dogs barking. JP. That's all right. But hey, JP, tell the folks who you are real quick, sir, just so the audience understands the magnitude of the guest that we have on screen. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. Hey, for those of you who do not know me, my name is JP. I go by JP High Tech, and I am a branding expert, cinematographer, and software developer. What I do is help businesses, entities, individuals impact with high-end visuals when it comes to graphics, high production videos, or live streaming. That is what I do. And, I help people impact the right way and transform and bring those traffic and really generate true income when it comes down to content creation and monetization. I'm also the director of Reveal TV Network. I'm the broadcast director. I'm also the creator of Content Creators University, and also my company that I started several years back. Been happy to have some folks connected with in the community. That's actually how, through the Ecamm community, that I was able to connect with James Hicks and the amazing conversations he's having. And I was just on another show, like you were just saying. I literally just got off a 2-hour show on different platform, and went and took my shower and grabbed my phone and noticed he put that out there. So I'm like, all right, told the wife, let me go ahead and put a shirt on, support my brother. So yeah, that's what it's all about, being able to connect and understanding the value you can bring on the table, and knowing in the community that one person can do it. It takes a whole village to impact the true transformation and true change. Once you have that understanding, I guarantee you will always be a success. You will always be, a name in somebody's mouth, on the lip, right? Because you need to have a heart for other people in order for other people to care about you, right? It cannot be a monologue. It has to be a dialogue, and that's what I'm all about. So excited to be here, excited to connect and support my brother.
You see, we not playing, folks. Y'all, I hope y'all was taking notes, because Eric Thomas, all y'all better listen. I got some other coaches in here too. No, but bro, I appreciate you, and you came in at the right time, because again, we were just getting into the social impact conversation that we typically do here on TV No Sleep, and I want to ask you the same question, right? And I know you just got off a pretty, I'm gonna say, emotional conversation on your Race Talks Live Uncut with Brother Charles Jackson, but so. Let me ask you this. We were talking about thoughts on athletes' influence within society, right? So the fact that athletes are out there doing their various business ventures, they're out there having their political views, as they should. But when it comes to outside of the game, right? When they step off the pitch, when they step off the court, when they step off the field, and they start talking about how they feel from their personal perspective, the influence that they have, especially on our youth. And I'm gonna add this to it, especially on our young Black youth, right? Because we got 4 brothers on here, and we're very impressionable, irregardless of age, right? It could be 5 years old, 6 years old, it could be 20, 30, 40 years old. But what are your thoughts on someone like a Kyrie Irving, someone like a Steph Curry, someone like you said, Tom Brady, LeBron James, coming out and telling, putting their views of their political views, their business perspectives and things like that, and knowing how impactful that can be, especially for our youth in society? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that they should do that? Do you think that they should just hold that to themselves and just talk about that within the 4 walls of their home, or what's your take on that?
Thanks for the question. That's a very good question, by the way. And yeah, it lines up exactly with all the things I was talking about tonight. Being in a place of influence comes with a certain responsibility. Okay. When you're in the place of influence, you need to understand that you have a lot of responsibility, and every move you make, every single thing you say will have a certain type of ramifications, regardless of what you do. Okay. So when you're talking, you better make sure that what you're saying, you have a background of education in relates to that. Don't come and simply speak your emotion or your personal opinion without having any education behind it. That's what the problem is, right? Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got something to say about a specific subject or topic or anything like that. But whenever you're blessed to be in the views of the camera, in the eyes of the camera, and the people looking at you, you are impressing, impacting, and transforming somebody's life. So you can come out and have a feeling about something, but before you open your mouth, you need to make sure that you are documented. And sadly, we have celebrities that are coming out and simply sharing things, coming 100% not from facts, but from opinion. And whenever they say it, whoever is following blindly, the young guy, the youth that is, worshiping the celebrity will take what they say face value and run with it without checking in, right? Without making sure that what they're saying is actually accurate or not. That's what the problem is. The problem is not that they can come out and talk about things that have nothing to do with sports or the career or within the ecosystem of things that they're doing. The problem is whenever they do so, they're not most of the time doing that from a place of knowledge. And that's where the negative connotation can be attached to that, right?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And that's my problem. That's my problem. I will not come here and talk to you about things I don't know. I will say, if you're looking for a plumber, don't go and ask for a painter. Okay. If you're a painter, don't come and try to talk on the professional field about plumbing. That's not your expertise. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can say, this is my humble opinion about this, and make sure you remind the folks, don't take my word face value and just take it and run as if it's the gospel. Remind the folks about it. But at the same time, when people look at you, for example, I help corporations, right, with their branding. So a lot of times people will contact me and in my office and say, hey, what's your intake on us doing this? Even though that might not be in the draw plate of the things that we normally work together on, I'll tell them, honestly, I've never done that. But in my humble opinion, please remember, this is not my professional advice. But in my humble opinion, if it was me, this is what I will do. I don't know a lot about it, and let's do it. Mm-hmm. That humility is missing. Okay. Mm-hmm. We see athletes. We see LeBron. I have his shoes upstairs. Yeah. Okay. But I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times it comes out very uneducated on a lot of topics. Okay. And that is where the problem is. He's a cool dude. He's doing amazing things. He's inspiring a lot of people. Great to you. But please, let's stop pretending as if we know it all. One person doesn't know everything. The biggest Nelson Mandela will tell you that you need to have a place of humility in your heart if you want to be the best person to impact. The best leaders are the best servants. And if you cannot understand that, then there's a problem with our generation. We need to rethink the way we're doing things in order, as a community, as a Black professional community, to truly have the impact we're supposed to have. If not, all we're doing is adding to the negative rhetoric and adding to the negative stereotype, and no true change will happen. And here's the deal. As professionals within our own community, we need to help each other. We need to do it the right way, right? You know the saying, best practice makes perfect. Not just practice, but best practice makes perfect. So if you're doing the wrong thing, you will develop the wrong habits, and you will share with somebody else to do the wrong thing you're doing. And the only reason why you're doing and saying the wrong things is because you didn't even take the time to, have the humility enough to, admit that I'm not a professional in this field. Let me look it up. Early, I was on a different show, and I was sharing how, I was stoned, to hear people ask me if people lived in trees in Africa. Mm-hmm. Think about that for a second. And they meant no harm. They just never Googled it because
you know what? And I'm sorry to interrupt, man, because I've watched as much of that stream as I possibly could, and so even with that, and I think this still resonates with the topic. Mm-hmm. Tell them the story that you mentioned on the other show about your flight. The flight from Africa, and the questions that you were asked about that, because that you didn't touch on it, but that it has a unconscious constitution. I don't know what the word is, but you didn't touch on it, but there's an unconscious statement that was in the story that you made, and I'm probably going to touch on it after you talk, because I
Absolutely.
really wanted to get on Charles's stream, but go ahead. But
No problem. So yeah, I mean, for those of you who do not know, I wasn't born in the United States. I was born in a tiny place called Togo, which is in the West Africa. If you ever heard of Nigeria, Ghana, or anything like that, that's where I was born. It's called Togo, tiny place, right? I got here. My biological parents, I say biological because I was adopted by a different family here. But my biological parents, I grew up there, raised there and everything. I got here. I was already an adult when I got here. And then I was adopted by a different family. They're white folks that, when I got here. So, went to college, met my wife in college. Now we have three beautiful children. I've been in the corporate industry for a very long time, over 12 years. But the thing is that I was really mind blown at the lack of knowledge, I should put it, because I don't want to use the word ignorance, the lack of knowledge of the people, my brothers and sisters that I was connecting with when I got to the United States, right, several years ago. And as a matter of fact, if you didn't know, James, my wife and I, we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary not long ago. So I'm very, very happy about that. I just put it out there.
Yeah, don't get in trouble, brother. Don't get in trouble.
I know, right? But yeah, man, people will literally, genuinely ask me how I got to the United States. At first, I thought it was a joke. They were joking, and I realized no, they were serious. Not one, not two, not three. I had a lot of people ask me, "Whoa, man, I can't believe. So, how come that you got to the United States and you're speaking English so well? Or, I mean, how's that possible? Because I mean, a lot of the things they're used to, I was not embodying that.
Mm-hmm.
I was the opposite of the things that they're used to seeing in the news and they're used to hearing about, the deprived Africans and the ones that really lived in a village or really sick and hungry and poverty and all those type of things. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean how I got here? I got here, I jumped in a plane, I came here. They're like, so really? And I thought you might to come here, you be in the boat. Again, folks, this is something that they're genuinely asking.
So again, so that whole thing, I wanted y'all to pivot on that right there, but you didn't. And I respect the show and I respect the host of what y'all was going on, because again, that has a whole lot of different connotations. Again, about folks somewhere else talking about people coming from Africa coming on boats, right? So again, that would have just riled up a lot of just raw negative emotions from whomever was in that particular type of discussion. So you guys didn't go into that, but that's something that I really wanted to share with you, that I felt that and I saw that, and I just didn't know if that was part of that experience for you as well, right? When someone asks you, how'd you get here? I got here on a plane. Well, oh, you didn't get here on a boat?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute. Let me school you a little bit on. Okay. Okay.
And it's sad, right? Yeah. I have three children today, right? My wife and I, we have three beautiful children, and my wife, she's a teacher, right? She's a college professor. Thank God she got her master's degree from UTA. And if you see the things that they're willing for the teachers to teach our children, is mind blowing. All right. One thing that's clear we need to understand is Black history is part of the American history. Taking Black history out of the books is plain, universally wrong.
Exactly.
Because you cannot rewrite history. History is history, period. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And Black is part of the American history.
Agreed.
And that is something that we need to understand. And that is something that we need to encourage our youth to develop a desire for. Because we have a youth that all they want to do is tell you, I don't care about the Black history. As a matter of fact, I only care about the things that I care about. It's not important. Listen, if you do not know your history, you will never have a certain impact on earth. That defines you as a person. It defines us as a people. Like I said in the other show, I asked one person, Why do you think that they ask our name is first African before American? Is African American? Why is it first African?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it not American African?
That's true. That's
Things that
poignant,
people don't really
right?
want to think about.
Yeah, but again, poignant conversations and poignant things, and it's about having and what I keep calling the uncomfortable, awkward conversation that needs to happen. And I wanted you to say all of that and have that dialogue because it still reverts back to the topic that we're having here. And I appreciate you for sharing your story, man. I'm in agreement, right? I really think folks need to actually pause and these entertainers, these athletes, these folks in the spotlight before talking about X, Y, and Z. Because there's a responsibility for folks, again, when you have that type of an influence on individuals, on societies, especially again when we're talking about our youth. That I'm really critical of that because Walter, I don't know if you got kids, but the three of us, we got them kids, man, and they're eating everything in the house. So that's really the forefront of our conversation when you got the little boys and little girls, and when you got dependents. Those are the things that you worry about most, and who they're listening to, what they're watching, what they're being influenced by. Peer pressure is more than just a word in the dictionary, and influence and things of that nature, right? So I just agree with you, JP, in the fact that these athletes, these celebrities need to pause before saying what they say, especially when they say it to impressionable youth, because there's going to be a lot of action that happens, right? Folks are they're not just going to sit on it. They're going to start talking to it amongst their sphere of influence, right, amongst their friends, or they're going to go out and they're going to march, or they're going to go out and they're going to protest. They're going to do something, because typically those are calls to action from those folks, especially with all the things that have been happening within the country within the last 400 years. I'm not even gonna say 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, right? Just over time. But so I appreciate you guys for letting me go into this tangent, into this rant. But I think that there's value in having that conversation because it doesn't stop, it never ends, and we need to continue to have this dialogue. Mata, did you have something you want to say, brother? You're on mute, man.
Looks like you're muted.
There you go.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was listening to what you were saying, JP, and definitely it resonates. And the thing that just kept popping to my mind, especially when it comes to being educated and when you talk, this Kwame Brown situation. He spoke on emotion. I do respect the level that he did speak on emotion. I don't like everything he said, obviously. I think he took it a little bit too far. And I think that conversation should have been held behind closed doors, in my personal opinion. But since he did let it out there, he spoke a lot on emotion, and I do respect that part to a certain degree. Like I said, I think he took it too far, but the part where you're saying speaking on emotion or not speaking so much on emotion and being educated about what you talk, I believe that pertains just in certain silos. I think if you're going to speak about politics, if you're going to speak about things that are affecting our community, obviously you need to educate yourself. But I think there's a certain part that you should be able to speak on emotion. I think you should be able to talk about emotion. I think obviously in the realm of sports, victory and losses, you should speak on emotion, how you feel about that.
Absolutely, man.
I think there's a fine balance, and I believe that's what you're alluding to. I want to make sure you just got to find that fine balance when you're speaking on things that are effective in the community or effective in our society. I use carefully communicate. You use educated. I believe they need to be both of those. But I don't want to cut off the emotion part. I think it's okay for people to speak on emotion, show their frustration, show their happiness, show their sorrow, show those things because those resonate with us. And as you guys are content creators, you know that resonates with people. And Kwame Brown he's a perfect example of it. People resonated with him being emotional about them speaking upon his character.
True. Yeah.
So I just think we got to have a balance. Go ahead, Walter. I'm sorry.
But let me add this though. I believe it's important to speak on emotions when you talk about in the arena of sports in a hard loss. But then when the media takes the conversation off of sports and you're in this raw, as an athlete, you're in this very raw moment.
Speak on
where you're very vulnerable because let's face it, when you first get into the league, whether it be NBA or NFL, you're kind of trained on how to talk to the media,
Yes.
when to talk to the media,
Yep.
how to talk to the media. So you know, because of that training, as long as it's within the arena of sports and you're talking off of emotions, that's fine. But now if we get into the whole situation like back in the bubble with Milwaukee and the Orlando Magic, Milwaukee, I believe the Bucks really thought that
we need to get him on Roku, JP. That's
the rule.
There we go.
We're not going to.
Yeah, he chopping up over there.
I believe they thought that through, and those players that came along with them, right? Because you were able. I got to be able to. I have to communicate it to in such a way.
Yeah, this brother. See what happened? He over there done fell off a little bit.
Way that JP can say is okay, and we're tapping into our bottom line. Like,
well,
I think he's completely gone, man.
He straight fell off, man. You know I'm gonna talk bad about him too. I'm gonna talk bad about him.
Hey, man.
Hey, nobody else. He kicked you off. Walter kicked you off.
Oh, yeah, somebody kicked me off. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. See, the internet was getting upset. We was getting too emotional there. We was getting too much in there. Watch, he gonna come back saying,
yeah, he's calling back in now.
He gonna say it was me. It's not me. Yeah. It ain't my stream, brother. Bruh.
I didn't drop the mic. That was not the mic drop moment that I was trying to shoot for.
No worries.
I'm looking at my internet. I'm
all green over here, but that's on your side. I know.
But my point is, yeah, okay, it must be on my side. If we're talking about sports and you lose at the last moment at the buzzer, that's me. Okay,
you good now, brother? You good?
Can you guys hear me?
We got you. We got you.
Yeah,
okay.
We can hear you now. Go ahead.
If it's a heartbreak loss if it's a heartbreak loss and losing at the buzzer, I can understand the raw emotions. But when you're dealing with situations like what the Milwaukee Bucks did back in the bubble, you have to be able to really think that through so that the emotions don't be the lead story on SportsCenter and ABC and CNN with Don Lemon and those guys. That's all.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm not gonna be a betting man tonight. I'm gonna go ahead
absolutely.
and I'm gonna take what we got, because if you fall off again and you pull Montel off of the stream, that's just I can't have that happen. I'm gonna have to talk to JP and get on Roku TV to make sure that everybody has high bandwidth. Gentlemen, See, I threw that little plug in for you. Brother.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
let me do two things here. Let me first and foremost thank everyone for their time tonight. Montel, you know, we do what we do, and we typically get very feisty, emotional, boisterous, whatever adjective you want to use. We have great conversation, and to have JP and Walter come in and give their perspective was valuable, and I hope that the audience enjoyed it as well. Montel, you got anything that you want to close out with, man? Because this was really good stuff here tonight. Really good stuff.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I always like having healthy conversation.
Yeah,
you know, healthy conversation. Talk about, you know, things that affect us. You know, we don't sports fans are like, we're all passionate things. So, brothers. Oh, am I done?
Oh, it might have been you. Oh, yeah, it might have been. You know, let me switch over to Walter now.
Man, it might have been.
It might have been you.
I think it's Montel.
God, you know what? I'm
I think
sending
it's
you.
Montel. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
JP,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sending him a microphone. I might have to send you a repeater or a hub switch. You know, some Xfinity pods or something to make sure that your bandwidth is
Can't
right.
be on
Look
that
at
Wi-Fi, Montel.
yeah,
You hear
that's
that?
what it is. He's sitting there on a Chromebook right now.
Yeah.
He on a Chromebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
JP, talk to us real quick, man. Again, let me ask you who if you I don't know if you're watching basketball. Tell me
Oh
if
yeah,
you
you're
can
on that
share.
Is
Wi-Fi.
that what it
and,
is? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you can't be on Wi-Fi, gentlemen. You can't be on Wi-Fi.
Yep, that's what it is. Yeah, you got to be hardwired whenever you're doing a live, man, because Wi-Fi
Gotcha.
is very
Hey,
unstable.
I've enjoyed
it'll make
myself.
you drop anytime. So that's what's happening. See, he's gone again.
See, Walter, you should know better than that too, man. You've been around these content creation streets, brother. You know better than that. So, Walter, tell us again.
sir. Yes, sir.
Give us.
Well,
give us
gentlemen,
your,
that will be it for me, man.
all right, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, we're starting to fall apart now.
James,
I guess everybody at
Yep.
everyone else's house is, all the kids and the family are home and they done fired on Netflix and doing all that stuff. So,
Yeah, that's the big thing. Yes. Pleasure meeting you, Mr. High Tech.
Absolutely, Mr. Walter. Likewise, and hey, folks, be blessed, be safe. And I'll see y'all later. Like I always say, peace, folks.
appreciate you, JP. Appreciate you, Walter Montel. Y'all be good to yourself. Thank you, everyone, again for tuning in, and we will catch y'all next week.